Well, hello. I'm Joyce Haynes, President of the Louisiana Association of Educators. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for allowing us to comment on House Bill 1368. Of course, teachers and support professionals support the stated goals of this bill. Of course, we want to cut red tape, increase the quality of instruction, and improve academic achievement in Louisiana's public schools. But I want to point out that this bill would actually impose additional financial burdens on local school boards with new unfunded mandates, and it would put at risk important safeguards for students and educators who serve them. I urge you to take a close look at the devil that's in the details of this bill. According to the fiscal note, local school boards would need to come up with millions of dollars in order to implement changes that the State Department of Education will require in the exchange for waivers. For example, to obtain a waiver, the local board would have to agree to specific steps to reward highly effective teachers, highly effective educators. This would require local dollars, and we believe that this will also be the state's cost to develop such a system. It will, and I assure you, as we look at the fiscal note, we wonder, so who will pay for the rewards that would be required? Under this bill, a superintendent could propose changes and request waivers for any school or combination of schools under his or her jurisdiction. But for waivers to be granted in low-performing schools, the local board would have to implement one of the 4 intervention options you've heard described here today. It comes as no surprise to anyone that LAE opposes 3 of the 4 options, but whatever anyone thinks of them, none of the 4 interventions could be implemented effectively without cost. All of the interventions would increase local school board expenses. They hope to meet the State Department standards for waiver renewals, and if boards could not show improvement after 2 years, the waivers would be revoked, and the schools would be treated as recovery school districts. No research as recovery school district schools, and no research supports the notion that these interventions could turn around most struggling schools within just 2 years. So this begs for an important question to be asked. Is this bill simply an attempt to speed up charter school takeovers? Whatever the intent, the results would be that some scarce local and state MFP funds would no longer be part of the local board's general fund budget. Now let's talk about what school districts might be allowed to waive in the name of red tape reduction: probation and tenure law, reduction in force policies, financial reporting requirements, school employee sick leave, assault leave, maternity leave, military leave, sabbatical leave, jury duty leave. Would this improve student achievement, quality of instruction, and teaching effectiveness? Furthermore, how would waiving requirements for school boards to have policies prohibiting hazing, providing suicide prevention programs, internet safety education, character education achieve the state objectives of this bill? Do we really have to do away with school discipline law to eliminate red tape and improve student achievement? The intentions behind HB 1368 may be debatable, but the legislation clearly has the potential to undo many important laws and policies that protect students and school employees, and it would impose new financial burdens on already strapped local school boards. The LAE will continue to work to reduce red tape, increase the quality of instruction, and improve academic achievement in Louisiana's public schools. But we don't believe that House Bill 1368 support these goals. In fact, we think it would be at the cross purposes. It would not do what is suggested. So I urge you to vote no on H. Bill 1368. And once again, I thank you for the opportunity to testify, and we are available to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes.
Mr. Chairman, may I add just very quickly a point? One of the interesting things in the selling process today is focused on high-performing schools as well as other schools. Local districts already have the option to become charters and to build charter schools. What is not available in this bill is a focus on getting the buy-in at the school level from the classroom teachers, the majority of the folks involved. And that's very critical to make this work and work effectively. Any school, and many school systems already have, chosen to develop local charters and to get waivers from those kinds of things, to put them on equal ground. And the selling process was interesting, but it's very critical to understand that. The second issue, and that is just as critical, is the bottom line of how do you measure performance and accountability. And it's critical to understand that much of what bottom line means can be harmful to students. And it's critical that we understand that by focusing on accountability that is narrow, narrowing the curriculum and not allowing teachers to teach effectively does not improve what goes on or what happens. If I could quote from Diane Ravitch for just a moment. She said, standardized tests are not intended to evaluate what the students have learned, are intended to evaluate what the students have learned, what they've taught, not to assess teacher effectiveness. Teachers will bend their efforts to raise test scores, but achievements will lag because they're spending all the time teaching the test rather than teaching the knowledge the students need to know to be successful. And that is critical in this particular bill, that we don't allow that to occur. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jason White, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. I think Representative Dixon hit the nail on the head where this could go. With cuts of MFP by 2 3/4% last year, the growth money not being allocated, this year it faces that. With stimulus monies disappearing, this is a vehicle, if you look at what can be waived for school systems to really cut and look where to allocate money. But it will, if you have a superintendent, such as some that are across the state, this can be such a vehicle. Budget cuts are out there. One of my parishes I represent, Calhoun Parish, just trimmed $20 million from next year's budget because of financial constraints from cuts from the state, also from federal monies disappearing, and obviously a financial crisis we're in. But tough choices are already being made. I think that by waiving certain laws and safeguards, this makes it very easy to punish educators.
Thank you.